Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Suresh, sir. Thank you so much for joining our webinar, ladies and gentlemen, titled Financial Advisory Poised Well for Explosive Growth. Friends, our webinar today shall be delivered in two sections. There will be a topic discussion first by a guest speaker, followed by an overview of the CFP certification. A Q&A will follow at the end. Friends, it's an honor for me today to welcome our star alumni, Suresh Sadagopan sir, as a guest speaker. Suresh Sadagopan is the visionary founder of Ladder 7 Financial Advisories, an esteemed registered investment advisor firm established by sir in 2004, and today it is one of the most respected firms in the financial planning and advisory space in India. Suresh sir holds a Masters of Management Studies from prestigious BITS Pilani and is a certified financial planner, a chartered trust and estate planner, and a registered life planner. In addition to his successful career, Mr. Sadgopan is the founder of the Financial Planners Guild India and Association of Registered Investment Advisors. Suresh sir is also a very well-known speaker on personal finance and author of the best-selling book on Amazon titled If God Was Your Financial Planner. On behalf of every one of us, thank you, Suresh sir, for sparing your valuable time and joining us today. I would now hand it over to sir to share his invaluable thoughts with all of us. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Yeah, thank you, Rishi, and thank you so much, Kanaya, for inviting me here. It's a pleasure and honor to be here and addressing the students here. It's an especially, especially I look forward to this session because, like you rightly said, I'm one of the earliest students of ICOFP. I'm one of the alumni of early alumni of ICOFP. In fact, I would want to go down the memory lane for a minute or two to let the students know where we were and the path we have traveled and how far we have come. So my journey started in 2003. In December 2003 is when I heard about something called financial planning. I was blissfully unaware of anything called financial planning till that time. And when I attended the presentation by, I don't remember the gentleman's name who made the presentation at that time. So when he made the presentation, immediately I knew that this is what I want to do. And I immediately registered. That was December 2003. I immediately went ahead and next day or next to next day, I registered for CFP certification. So what happened is, today you people are putting so much effort in terms of helping the students, including conducting webinars like this. See, at that time, it was early days for everybody, and ICOFP was the only college available at that time, which was, Bajaj Capital had brought in CFP certification at that time. So ICOFP was the only college, and there was no classroom session. The students will be aghast to know that there was no training, there was no teaching at that time because it was early days. And what ICFP at that time, it used to be called ICFP at that time. So what ICFP at that time used to tell us is if at least 10 people come together and you want a session, we can organize the session. Okay. We will have to conduct the session by a faculty and you'll have to pay for it. So something like that. At that time, all of us who were actually pursuing CFP certification, at least the initial batches, were all people who were doing some kind of work. We were all employed already. We were all doing something else. So first and foremost, we did not have the time. Secondly, we did not know how to get together 10 people, 12 people, so that a batch can be started. So to cut a long story short, and the entire thing was entire thing. I still remember the set of books which you people had sent. Very well put together book. Lot of books. When it came first, landed on my in my house. I was aghast. I was thinking, "Arey boss, have I taken the right decision? इतना books आया है, how do I study with my schedule?" But anyway, that is history. I'm very happy to tell you that the journey has been wonderful. There was some struggle initially because I did not have too much time. It was only between 11 and 12 every day that I used to study. And at that time, it was not like what it is today. I mean, you can give the exam on any given day. It used to be conducted only once every 6 months or so. So that is how it was at that time. And I was so very interested in financial planning at that time. I was so taken in by the financial planning thing that in 2004, just after completing two modules, at that time there were six modules, six exams to be given. So just after completing two modules, I was so taken in and I started my practice, which is the Ladder 7 Financial Advisories. At that time, it was called Ladder 7 Financial Advisories. So that is the genesis. And I mean, to continue that, uh, before my presentation, I would say that a lot of people would have said, you might have heard, many of you might have heard that financial planning, is it viable? Will clients pay fees and things like that? I mean, do people even understand financial advisory? Probably those questions were relevant in 2004 or 2006, in that era. I don't think that question should be on anybody's mind, while I keep hearing that question even today. But let me tell you a very, very wonderful experience that I've had with my clients even at that time. When I started talking about financial planning and advisory and how we really can benefit them in their financial fulfillment, wealth creation journey, it was not that people objected to a financial plan or paying for the financial plan. In fact, I had a very, very smooth ride, I would say. Having said that, I mean, initially, it was very initial days. Initial days, my charges were comparatively less. But the fact that people are saying that nobody will pay even a rupee for, I mean, advice, was invalidated even in 2004. People had paid at that time, and I have been in practice continuously till this point, and people have been paying. And over a period of time, we have of course solidified our practice, and the nature of the financial plan that we are now creating has become much more robust. We have many advisors in our team. So all those things have happened. But I want to leave this thought before I start my presentation, that financial planning is a viable practice. If you have something of value to deliver to the people at large, you really have a wonderful profession which you can look forward to. I think with that, let me start the presentation. Can I share my presentation, please, Rishi?
Yes, sir. Certainly.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So I'm going to share the presentation. Just a minute. Um, is this visible now?
Yes, sir. It's very well visible.
Okay, very good. Wonderful. Excellent. So let me start with the first thing. We are poised for a quantum leap. The tailwind for advisory is very, very favorable. I'm going to talk about why I am saying this. I mean, it is not a feel-good statement. I'm not really trying to just prop you up or, I mean, put you on steroids. But it is a true statement. Apna time aa gaya. In 2004, I could not have really said that. I was not sure myself. But in 2024, I can 100% say that apna time aa hi gaya. So let us talk about some of the macros which are favorable for us for the advisory practice. See, I think it's an understatement to say that India is rising in the world. I mean, we are all reading for the past several years, and I mean, when the acknowledgement comes from various other places across the globe, I think we are more happy to accept that. So acknowledgement is coming all across the globe, whether it is JP Morgan report or whether it is uh, various other reports which are coming in. They are all talking about how India is going to be the number three economy by something like 2030. We are currently number five in the world, expected to be number three by 2027 itself. We'll be crossing both Germany and Japan by 2027. There is some crosstalk. If you can ask Rishi, if you can kindly put it off, that will be helpful.
So you will have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So by about 2027 or so, we are expected to cross both Japan. Japan has become the number four economy, and Germany has become number three now. But we'll be crossing both of them by 2027. That is the expectation. So, very much possible. You are able to see the screen currently also, right? Yeah. Okay. Great. So we are expected to be in the ballpark of 7.58 trillion by 2031, very, very comfortably number three economy in the world. Of course, we'll be lagging behind both US and China by a wide margin, but the fact is that we'll be the number three economy. Incidentally, based on purchasing power parity, we are already the number three economy in the world. I mean, according to purchasing power parity, will be about 12 trillion or something like that today. So, which I mean, all of this signify that there is going to be tremendous amount of growth and wealth creation going forward. So, stock market capitalization has crossed the GDP figure now. It's about 4.2 trillion or something like that. That's the latest report I have seen. By 2030, it is expected to cross 10 trillion, 10 trillion US dollars. So, which is a very, very significant landmark. We'll be again, I think, number three by that time. Uh, we are expected to be the factory of the world. I mean, so what is happening is the macro trend today is that there is a China plus one strategy. I think you may have heard of that. China has been the factory to the world, and there has been a deleveraging, and companies are moving out of China to various other countries, including India, Mexico, Poland, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, so many countries. They are moving to various countries. So we are also our government is also giving a major push to various kinds of manufacturing, including electronics. So over a period of time, we are at some 15% or something like that in as far as the manufacturing is concerned, India wide, and we are expected to be at 21% by 2030. Manufacturing is very, very important for India because that is what will create the jobs for the blue collar workers, and the number of people who are coming into the population, the young people who are coming into the population will have to be given employment. Uh, as far as the exports are concerned, we are currently at some 750 billion dollars currently, goods and services put together. That is expected to go to something like 2 trillion by 2030. Very, very significant number. Assuming that we are going to be at 7.58 trillion, take it as about 8 trillion by 2030. 25% will be coming from exports of goods and services. Today, the number is about 21, 22%. Even today, it's not insignificant. On 3.75, we are exporting about $750 billion. So again, in that also, there is going to be a growth, and this augurs extremely well for our future. So then, now the most important thing. So why am I talking about the India story? India story is that we are on to a good thing. We are not an Argentina, we are not a Japan, we are not any of those countries where the future prospects are not very clear. We are a country where the immediate future looks very promising, and the future ahead for the next 15, 20 years looks extremely promising indeed. And the most important thing from our point of view is the wealth accretion that is happening in India. As we speak today, I'm talking about today's situation. We are the number three country with the most amount of billionaires. I don't know, probably this number would have crossed 200 number. This is slightly dated. This is as of 2022. So we are just behind US and China as far as the number of billionaires are concerned. Number of billionaires with US dollars 5 billion, it has doubled in the last 10 years. So which is a very, very significant thing. The Indian billionaires increase the wealth share. They have added something like 360 billion in the last 5 years, 360 billion US dollars. And so that's a major number. So when India becomes wealthy, we are the people in the financial advisory wealth management space. We are the people who are going to manage this money. When somebody has serious money, they would not want to do it all by themselves. I mean, they require professional help, and we are the people, we are the advisors who can actually. That is the reason why I'm showing this. So you may think that okay, in the case of billionaires, do I stand a chance in getting their custom? So I do not want you to worry on that front at all, because even at the lower end of the spectrum, like there are in the middle levels and below those also, the accretion of the number of millionaires and other people who have come into serious wealth is actually tremendously going up. So there are supposedly 8 lakh dollar millionaires in India today, which means that they have an investable surplus of at least 8.5 crores or more. So that kind of population, again, this is 2022 figure. Um, so it is about 8 lakh people, and that is expected to double in about 5 years or so. 26, 27 or 28, you will have something like 16.5 lakh people who are in that bracket. So what we are saying is the incomes are going up, the savings are going up, the wealth is being created at a tremendous space, at a tremendous pace. So this profession which we are talking about, the financial advisory profession, has a lot of legs to stand on, and we are all expected to do well and thrive. So I mean, pay attention to these figures. I mean, these are eye-watering figures, but these are figures which are only expected to go up in the future. Opportunity for advisors. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. When the wealthy proliferate, they require advice. The current situation is that we have less than 1,000 advisors in India currently. I'm talking about the registered investment advisor community. The opportunity is huge. I mean, I was talking about 8 lakh people in 2022, right? I mean, 8 lakh people who have more than 8.5 crore of wealth. But those are not the only people who will require advice. Even a person who has, say, 50 lakh or 1 crore or more than that will require advice. So the number of people who require advice are in crores. So the the requirement is currently not being met by the 1,000 or so advisors which we are currently having in the country. The opportunity is huge. We need thousands of people to come into this industry, advisory and wealth management industry. So the demand is huge. The opportunity is huge. So now I want to talk a bit about the financial planning practice. What is that we do in the practice? What do we do for the clients? So let me talk about what we do in our practice. So for every person who comes to us as a client, uh, we take them on we take them on with a financial plan only. Even if somebody says, I want to just invest my money, normally what we do is we collect all the information about them. We have some serious discussions with them to know about their personal situation, about what they really want to achieve in life, all those things apart from the financial aspects. And then we start with a basic financial plan to establish feasibility. We will project up to the retirement year, and we will project up to their entire lifetime to understand whether all the goals that they have will be achieved or not. Or if there are any problems, it will show up in the feasibility study itself. Once the feasibility is established, and we may do multiple scenarios also, once the feasibility is established, we will go ahead and we will look at the next 12 months. What is happening now? What is the amount coming in now? What are the surpluses available? What have they done? Are there enough liquidity? Have they provided for contingency? Most of the time, it is not there. So we will have to provide for that. We will have to look at whether insurances, whatever they have, are they the right amounts? We have to find out how much insurance is required. We will have to look at the existing investments, the portfolio. Are they in the right places? To understand that, we have to do a risk profile, and what is the right allocation based on the risk profile. So all these things we do, and then we finally come up with our recommendation in terms of what you need to do with your existing portfolio. How do we redo that, and what further investments or reclassification we need to do, so that we put forward for the next 1 year. Same is the case for insurance. So a lot of times when people come, either they don't have enough insurance, or many people have lots of unwanted insurance. So we will have to examine all that, and then we will have to tell them what is appropriate to keep and what new policies will they have to take. So it is not only life insurance, life, medical, personal accident, critical illness, home insurance. I mean, whatever insurances are appropriate from their standpoint, we will look at all that and we will give our suggestion. So that is the financial planning that we do. In virtually all cases, without exception, we first do the financial planning, and then only we will go ahead and create that investment portfolio. We do that because without doing a financial plan, without understanding their personal situation and context, and without understanding their portfolio in all detail, we will not really be able to suggest to them what they should do. A lot of people want to engage with us, saying that, okay, I have this 50 lakh, I have this 1 crore, just tell me how, where to invest. So I mean, we financial planners cannot really operate without context, and that is how normally we are doing. um, so that is what we do for our client. So the fundamental thing which I want to tell from a financial planning context is that we have a client focus. So everything we start with the client. In fact, the investment recommendation, which is the product selection and things like that, comes right at the end. And that is the way it should be, because we need to understand where does the client want to go, what are the goals, what is the path they want to travel. We first have to understand we need a blueprint. A lot of people, for everything in life, we have a blueprint. I mean, we have a plan for a birthday celebration. We have a plan. If we want to, if it is our own marriage or anybody's marriage in the family, we plan for that and we do a lot of work for the next 6 months, 1 year. But when it comes to our finances, for which we spend maybe 30, 35, 40 years of our prime time life, we don't really give it the merit it deserves. So so that is exactly what we tell our clients. So we focus on what is that they really want to do. We first build that blueprint, which most people don't have. The first time they come to us, that is the first time that they ever get a blueprint. So client focus is very, very essential. Product is not the hero here. Client is the hero as far as we are concerned. As far as our value proposition is concerned, is that we are on the side of the client. I mean, we are registered as investment advisors. We are registered as a fiduciary. Fiduciary are those people who put the client ahead of everybody else, including their own self-interest. So by that very model that we have chosen, we are going to operate in the client's best interest only. We will always think of what is good for them. So we are independent. We are not tied up with any stockbroker or a mutual fund company or an insurance company or a bank. So we have our independence and we will do what is good from the client point of view. We are client centric. So from that point of view, it's a very, very attractive proposition from our client's point of view, because in every other field you have potentially a good fiduciary. In the medical field you have a trusted doctor. In the legal field you have a lawyer to confer with. In any other profession, whether it is a accountancy profession or architecture profession, you have appropriate professionals to confer with. They will offer you counsel. Unfortunately, in the field of finances, in the field of wealth, we normally keep saying that health and wealth are two very important things in a person's life. Health is taken care of. I mean, it's a very old profession that is taken care of. In the case of wealth, unfortunately, the only people who were offering advice or incidental advice were people who were trying to sell some products, whether it is a bank or whether it is a mutual fund or whether it is insurance or any kind of a agent or distributor who is selling these products. These are all people who are actually selling products, so they are distributors. So in the case of a distributor, they are an agent of a principal. So like suppose somebody is a distributor for let us say some mutual funds. They are the agent or of that principal. The mutual fund house is the principal. So their allegiance is to the principal. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to paint everybody in a bad brush. I'm not saying that. But the point is that they follow something called a suitability standard. Suitability standard is something where they will give a product which is as per the client goals. I'll give an example to illustrate that. If somebody says that I want to plan for my retirement, if an agent is having any kind of a pension product, and if the agent is going to suggest an appropriate pension product, from their suitability standard point of view, they have done the right thing. But again, from the client point of view, the pension product with the distributor or agent is suggesting may not be the most appropriate one, because that is what they have and they can suggest that. But are there other better products which have better benefits or lower costs in the overall firmament? So that you have to look at. Are there other products in terms of insurance products or mutual fund products, or are there other investment products like even a typical mutual fund or a PPF or a NPS, and various other products can also help in taking care of the retirement itself. So that is not something that a distributor needs to be concerned about, because they are following what is called a suitability standard. In our case, we definitely have to be concerned about that, because first and foremost, we are client centric and we are also following a fiduciary standard. We have to examine all that is there, which is available to meet a particular goal, in this case retirement, and see what will be the most appropriate strategy or the appropriate set of products through which we can achieve that particular goal. So that is the fiduciary standard. So that is the standard on which we operate, and that is the most attractive model for anybody who has a fair amount of money, and they don't have to double check whether what I'm doing is in their best interest or not. Because by the model itself, and I'm registered with SEBI, I can be pulled up by SEBI, I can be called upon to explain how whatever I have suggested to my client is actually meeting their fiduciary standard. So you understand where we are coming from, and that is the value proposition that we deliver as far as our clients are concerned. And that is why I am a great fan of advisory. This is absolutely required. There is a crying need for advisory. There are not enough of us in in the firmament today. As far as the regulatory framework is concerned, see, what happened was the global financial crisis, or I would call it a US financial crisis, which became a global crisis in 2008. That made all the regulators across the world start thinking about what do we do, how do we protect the investors, and out of it was born the fiduciary. I mean, fiduciary standard was always there, but they wanted to push a class of advisors towards the fiduciary standard. And as far as India is concerned, India was also acting in concert. And in 2013, we got the investment advisor regulation 2013, where they brought the new category of advisors who will be independent, who will be fiduciaries, and who will only be charging a fee and not earn anything through commissions. So that's the broad background as far as the regulatory framework is concerned. The regulator's intention was to give an opportunity, an option to all the investors in the country. If they want to engage with a fee only advisor, they had created that new category of advisors who are completely fee only and who are fiduciary. I mean, they have to pay a fee, of course, but they have created that new category so that people who really want independent, unbiased advice, they have somewhere to look out to. Where are we now? So we are in 2020, the regulation actually further tightened actually, and there are things which I will talk later on. We are something like 11 years into the new regulation, from 2013 onwards. And I would say the regulation is very, very tight at this point in time. I'll explain later on why I say that. But at the same time, I don't want to complain too much about the regulation. We are not the only people who are being regulated. I mean, you have regulators for pharma, you have regulators for airlines, you have regulators for telecom, you have regulators everywhere. Banks are also very, very heavily regulated. So regulators are everywhere. Regulators need not necessarily do what you think is suitable. Sometimes we may want something and they may have some other intention. So I mean, we will have to engage with them. We'll have to see how we can find that appropriate middle ground. So which is what we are doing in at ARIA, Association of Registered Investment Advisors. Be that as it may, what I want you to focus on is the opportunity. The opportunity is blinding. It's amazing. The opportunity is amazing, and I'm here in this practice because of the opportunity. I'm not going to run away anywhere because of the regulation. I mean, regulations are what they are. For what is the education needed for a financial advisor currently? So this is one of the new things that has come in 2020. Post graduation on finance, economics, commerce, mathematics, statistics. So any of those things are required for anybody to be a registered investment advisor, or anybody who works in a under a registered investment advisor like us. So one has to be doing this. Appropriate certification, there are multiple certifications. CFP definitely is one of them. NISM 10A, 10B, CWM, and other certifications are also there. And there is a requirement for a 2-year relevant experience. So that is also there. So the requirement for education experience certification has somewhat gone up in the 2020. So this has slightly tightened. Uh, I have found that a lot of students are pursuing multiple things. They are pursuing CFP also, CFA also, CS also, and things like that. I mean, there is absolutely nothing wrong with acquiring, a wide-ranging knowledge on a whole range of subjects. But what I would want to just put before you, for you to just think through, is that certified financial planner, this certification is preparing you for a career in personal finance advisory. CFA is corporate finance and maybe fund management research. So it's slightly different. And CA is basically the the accounting portion and the filing compliance, that kind of portion. Company secretary again is completely different. So you need to actually make up your mind into which field you really want to go. And I'm currently talking about CFP. I don't want to currently talk about other fields. Every field is very credible and a lot of opportunities are there. But I can definitely tell you that, put your energies in one area. If you have decided that you want to do CFP, I would urge each one of you to put your energies in the certified financial planner course. Like I have made a case for it till this point. It has tremendous opportunities. Going forward, the opportunities are only going to improve for you. So I would suggest that you should have that focus instead of actually dissipating your energies in by doing multiple different courses. Yeah, so I've already talked about all this. Uh, the important thing that you need to understand, if you are actually doing certified financial planner as a course, you have to understand that financial advisory is a profession. It's essentially a very long term game, like a doctor or a lawyer. So you need to take that call whether this is the right place for you or not. And the one of the most important thing is in any profession, like take the case of medical profession. It is probably 300 years old, maybe more. In that profession also, after doing 5.5 years of study, they become they become an intern, okay, in a hospital. And you know the kind of hours that they put as an intern for about 1.5 years. It's crazy. 14 to 16 hours is what they spend in a hospital. Like we have you have KEM and various other Rajawadi and various other hospitals in Mumbai. And various other cities, you will have appropriate hospitals. If you go and see the house doctors, they'll be virtually living in that place. And all for what? They'll be paid some 20, 25,000 during the internship period. See, they know that if they are going to work in that hospital, they will be exposed to hundreds and thousands of patients in that 1 to 2 year period. And that is going to stand them in good stead. So even the doctor profession, medical profession, it takes a long time for them to set up a practice and to do well. And so is the case with a lawyer. So I have a lawyer client in NCR region, who's a very well-known lawyer, but his son, who's also a lawyer now, he's not practicing with him. He has specifically told him, you go and practice, you go and join some other law firm. So now what is happening in that lawyer profession also, that person has joined another lawyer, and he's spending 7 days a week learning about various nuances of the law practice, various aspects. Now, currently, he's working on the criminal law aspect of it. So he's understanding various civil, criminal, and other areas, corporate, everything he's trying to understand. So what I want to tell you people at the start of the career is that you have to understand that this is a practice. To start with, it may be low, the remuneration may be low, but it will go up with experience. I also want to tell you that there is nothing wrong in taking up sales kind of a job. I think a lot of the CFP professionals across the board, I don't know about ICOFP, but across the board, I see that a lot of opportunities are available for people who are pursuing CFP to get into sales. And sales comparatively will be definitely higher paying as compared to a real practice. If you join anybody like us, compared to that, a sales job will be higher paying. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a sales job, because I'm telling you this with a particular reason. The reason is ultimately everything we do in life is sales. If you are going for an interview, you are essentially selling yourself. If you have an idea and you want to pursue CFP, probably you would have sold that idea to your parents. So everything that we do in life is sales, and there is absolutely nothing wrong in joining sales at the start of the career, being there for maybe 2, 3, 4 years. sales is a super humbling experience. In fact, you will learn what is humility when you are in sales. I can tell you for sure because I have been in sales for about 12, 13 years. Not after I came into advisory, but before that I was in sales, and it's a very humbling experience. You will develop humility. You will know how to deal with people. Uh, you will get the right temperament. You will be grounded. So it's not a bad thing to join sales. So don't be put off if you are getting a sales job only, or for multiple reasons you want that money to start with. Later on, you can always make the switch into an advisory career. The other thing which I'm saying is, if you have decided that you want to be in an advisory career, like I said, comparatively, it will be less lucrative from a monetary standpoint, but the opportunity for learning will be significantly higher in a advisory profession. So you will have to make the choice. And please understand, this is an advisory profession. We are into consulting. In consulting, you need to constantly keep updating, upgrading yourself. So it is not that once you have done your CFP profession, CFP certification, things are over and done with. It is never that way. Here, things are new things we are learning even as I speak. I mean, every day we are learning new things. That includes me and all my advisors. So we have to keep that in mind all the time. We need to be willing to learn, unlearn, relearn lot of things as we go forward. As an example, I'll say that I was not a very great fan of crypto. Over a period of time, I mean, I always keep saying that we have to be product agnostic and we have to be open as advisors. Over a period of time, in the last 6 months or so, I've been following the geopolitics today, and what is happening as far as de-dollarization is concerned, and the potential, say, maybe debasement of the fiat currencies. And because of that, it appears to me that probably crypto in US, one more watershed event had happened. There is a spot Bitcoin ETF which was launched about a month back or so. Spot Bitcoin ETF is somewhere where the underlying Bitcoin will be held by that ETF. And this, in my opinion, is a watershed event where the Bitcoin will now go institutional, and all those people who retail people who have not been investing in Bitcoin will start investing in Bitcoin. And so the credibility is increasing now. It has been spot Bitcoin ETF has been passed by SEC. So in my opinion, crypto probably is gaining more and more credibility, and I'm changing my thought on that. So why am I saying this? There is a reason for that. So we need to be constantly scanning the entire environment to understand what is happening, not just in our field, but in geopolitics, in economics, in terms of what is happening in terms of regulation in other countries, to be able to form a proper picture which will be helpful from our client's point of view. In fact, almost a year back or so, I again changed my view as far as gold is concerned. I was not really greatly a fan of gold, but based on what is happening in the geopolitics, and the de-dollarization that is happening, and the amount of gold that is being accumulated by the various reserve banks across the country, central banks across the world. Uh, I mean, and the possibility of emergence of other alternative currencies, which will be based on gold. I mean, if you actually take all these into account, it probably indicates that gold as an asset class is coming into its own as compared to any time in the past. So the reason why I'm mentioning all these things is that you have to be continuously learning. You have to focus on the learning. I'm not talking in the sense that once you do CFP, you have to again go to another course, again go to another course. I mean, please do other courses if you feel there is a need for it. If there is a body of knowledge which you really want to acquire and you want to practice in that area. Like in my case, I have acquired that registered life planner certification also, because I wanted to practice as a registered life planner, and without that certification I did not want to start that practice. So I did that from Kinder Institute, and chartered trust and estate planner also I did that because a lot of our clients wanted to get us in, I mean, wanted us to get involved in wills and trusts and power of attorneys and things like that. While in all cases we may not be directly involved, but we wanted to have a proper understanding of that area. And in some cases, we do create the wills for the client. So before actually doing anything, I mean, for the clients, I wanted a proper educational backing on that, so before I started doing anything. So that is the reason for that. So if you have a reason for doing certain things, I mean, please do go ahead and do further courses. But the most important thing that you need to understand is that it is not important for you to further and further increase the alphabet soup behind your name. So that is not really very important. You have to focus on one area. And in my opinion, you can focus on financial planning and advisory, which is an excellent area. Now, should you start work or should you set up your own practice? This is something that I keep getting asked all the time. I would say it's your own call. I mean, I would not say that you should start your practice or you should join somebody. It's personal. It's a personal call. But probably to start with, you may have to probably understudy somebody and then get that experience so that you will be able to set up your practice at some point in time. So in my case, unfortunately or fortunately, I did not have anybody to, I mean, look up to at that time in 2004. So in a sense, we were forced to be pioneers. So we had set up the practice without any guiding light for us. So in your case, my suggestion is that you should look at joining some firm, getting some experience, and then if you so desire, you can of course set up your own practice. Uh, the point which I want to highlight here is the skill for setting up a practice is somewhat different from the skill which you will acquire in a financial planning firm. So you need to focus on that. And if you really want to set up a practice, there are things which you will learn in a financial planning firm, but you need to really focus on the skills required for setting up a practice. So I'm just going to talk about a few things. So what you will probably learn in a financial planning practice is to how to acquire a client, about onboarding, about financial planning, about delivery. This is something that you will learn from in a financial planning practice. But when you actually start your own practice, you need to know about financial management for your firm, cash flows, fee collection, payments, salary payments, all kinds of payments. So you need to know that. Then you will also have to get into recruitment, people management, training. So, I mean, once you have more than one person in the organization, then you will have to manage the dynamics. You will have to, I mean, you'll have to shape them, you'll have to guide them, mentor them. So the training will become very, very critical for you. So when you want to start a practice, it is not just a question of just adding, say, 2 3 people, and it will not work on its own. So you really have to put in a lot more work as opposed to what you would do in a financial, if you are going to join a financial planning practice. There it will be a limited set of things that you will be doing. Here the number of activities that you need to do is more. I don't intend to scare any of you away from starting a financial planning practice. That is not my intention at all. But I am just being practical about this. You need to understand that these things are there. You need to get into a practice with your eyes open. So that is the reason why I am telling you these things. Unfortunately for me, like I said, there was nobody to tell me anything. Everything I had to learn along the way. Compliance and record keeping today, as per the regulation today, is actually a fair amount of work is involved in that also. So you need to worry about that aspect also. You need to keep the records properly. Currently, all the records have to be kept for up to 5 years. Yeah, they can come for inspection. And when they ask for some reports, you will need to provide the appropriate reports. Yeah. So if you are starting your own practice, it can be a general purpose practice or it can be a very specific practice for a particular target audience. I think the state of the evolution of the financial advisory practice in India, you can definitely say that there is a place for a general practice today, because there are so few advisors in the country and so many people to address. So you may want to have a general practice, but if you really want a targeted practice, like you want a practice which where your clients are essentially doctors or essentially lawyers or essentially people who are in service or people who are retired or women or any category for that matter. So if you want to specialize like that and if you want a target audience, you can decide that in the first maybe 2 3 years. So, and if you are deciding on day one, it's even wonderful. But a lot of people find it slightly difficult to define the target audience on day one. So in our case, we are general practitioners. We are not having a niche target like a doctor or a lawyer. We have a lot of doctors. We have lot of lawyers, are pilots, and all kinds of people, IT professionals, people in service. We have all kinds of people, but it is entirely up to you. Then the model and the service bouquet. So how are you going to charge? What is the model? What is the kind of service that you are going to give? Is it only the financial planning and then portfolio review, or is there other thing like wills and trusts and things like that where you are going to get involved? Are you going to provide life planning service? Are you going to provide consultancy, financial consultancy for various aspects that will come along the way? Are you going to get involved in any of their other requirements which may have a financial angle? Like for example, you would have planned for children's education abroad, for example, from a financial standpoint. Do you really also want to engage them in a meaningful conversation on what they should ideally be doing as parents vis-a-vis the education itself of the children? Do you want to engage with the children? So that is, these are all things which is entirely up to you. You need to figure out what is that you want to do in your service bouquet. And depending on that, depending on that, the client will actually look up to you for various things. So ideally speaking, clients are looking for an advisor who can advise them across the board. So they don't look at you as a financial advisor. Probably at the start they will be looking at you as a financial advisor and nothing more. But over a period of time they will start looking at you for everything, because a lot of things in life have a financial angle to it, and they will start looking at you beyond finances. And you need to be prepared to play that role. If you really want to be a trusted advisor and you want to have the client for life, you need to start playing that role. So the turnaround times and the service delivery frequency, it's all part of the service bouquet and the model. So that is something that you will have to get it right at the beginning. Yeah, so this is also important. So a lot of people, when they come to me, they ask, okay, we have engaged you for the financial plan, or once we engage you for the financial plan, are you the person who is going to deliver the financial plan and going to talk to me? So in our case, that is not the case, because we have a set of financial advisors who will be engaging with them. So that is something that we tell right in the beginning. So it is very, very important for us to tell right in the beginning as to what is that they can expect from us. So client expectation setting is super, super important in one's own practice. So in our case, we have not been meeting clients since 2010. So we don't go to the client's place. We are not asking the clients to come to us. Well before COVID, we have been, like I'm talking to you, this is the way we are engaging with the client. So we have a 14-year vintage in that mechanism of dealing. So how is that you will be engaging with them? You will be going there physically. I mean, I have nothing against people who are going physically and meeting them, but I personally prefer this kind of an online mechanism. That is why we started that in 2010. We don't have to waste time. A lot of times what I have seen in a earlier avatar is that when I go somewhere, first of all, it takes a lot of time. Bombay being the city it is, it's a vast city. Delhi NCR and other places are also equally vast, or even more vast. So I mean, we spend a lot of time just on the road, and after that, when you go to their office, then they make you wait, and then a lot more time is wasted there. So we figured that it's probably much better for us to have this online thing. So, I mean, again, I hasten to add that that is our method of engagement. Which method of engagement you want to choose is entirely up to you, but that has to be clearly understood by you, and it has to be communicated and understood by the clients as well. Pricing is very, very important. Uh, in fact, that is the crux of the, uh, sustenance of a practice. You have to be very, very clear about your pricing. What is the pricing? It has to be remunerative for you. It has to be a value proposition for your client. You cannot have bad debts here. A lot of us in the early parts of our careers, we have burnt our fingers by giving the service before and expecting to get paid later on. we have learned from our mistakes. Now we are collecting 100% in advance. At least in our case, we collect everything in advance. And before the client gives all the, we first collect the data. Then only we tell them that you can now pay the fees. So that is how it is. So we have some 5 different things which we ask them to share with us. So they have to complete the risk profile. They have to share the client letter of engagement. They have to share, they have to do the KYC process. They have to do the video, because we are, KYC video, because we are doing everything online, and they have to sign the LOE and the risk profiling. All those 4 5 things they have to do. After that only we will ask them to make the payment. That is 100% payment. So the reason why I'm talking about this is that, boss, you your the practice viability or otherwise is is going to be contingent on how you are going to get paid. So I can tell you one thing, it is not very difficult to get the payment in advance. You have to be very, very clear. You have to be willing to let go certain clients who are not willing to pay like that. So we let go people who are not willing to pay us in advance. And a lot of people tend to tell us that, okay, now you have come to a particular stature where you can afford to do that. But we have been doing that for a very, very long time. Yeah, even in 2007 or 8, I have started doing that. So, if I could do that in 2007 and 8, I think you can very well do that in your own practices. See, the basic thing which I'm saying is that there is no point in actually providing a service and then running after the clients for the money which you very well deserve. So there is no point. I mean, you have to be very, very clear on that. I mean, otherwise the practice will not be viable. I mean, a lot of people are complaining that financial planning does not pay. You will remain small and things like that. I mean, it's partially your own creation. I would say that. Working with a financial planner. So if you want to work with a financial planner, the first thing that you need to understand is that um, who is that financial planner where you can actually learn a lot, uh, because that is what is most important for somebody who is a student at this point in time, to get at this point in time. So the most important valuable thing at the early part of the career is the learning. So who can actually guide you, allow you to acquire that knowledge, provide you the mentoring. So you need to find that kind of a financial planner who can provide you with that. I mean, you will have to do some bit of spade work, bit of leg work, and understand that. So learning potential job quality, which is what I was talking about. So in our practice, we are not really into any product pitching or any selling or anything, absolutely. So the people who are coming to us as trainees or interns, uh, after they have done CFP or any appropriate qualification, these are people who will be learning the ropes of financial planning, and eventually they will do only financial planning work and nothing else. There is no sales involved in that. So you need to understand what is that you want to get from the engagement with a financial planner when you become an intern or a trainee, and eventually you become a financial planner. What is that you want from that financial planning firm or from that financial planner? You have to be very, very clear about that. If you really want to work with a financial planner, there is nothing wrong with working with a financial planner, because uh, a financial planning firm, we have every intention of growing. Okay, I'm talking about myself, and that is very, very true of every other financial planning firm in the country. We all see a wonderful opportunity ahead, the opportunity which I painted right in the beginning. That wonderful opportunity is there, and this is a people business. So we require high quality, credible financial advisors in our practices. So we are looking for very talented people all the time. So growth prospects and career prospects can be bright if you identify the proper financial planning firm. And there are quite a few good financial planning firms in the country today. And just like the lawyer, just like the doctor, just like the architect, or any, for that matter, any professional, over a period of time, the financial advisors worth tremendously goes up. So initial phases, it may be slightly slow, but over a period of time, the people will ask you by name. And that's a, you will be very, very happy at some point in time that people are asking you by name, because you would have built that kind of a reputation, and a lot of people will come by way of references. Way ahead in the profession. So there are, while there are some very, very attractive tailwinds, there are some very positives at the, as far as the profession is concerned. We need to also be concerned about certain headwinds. So there are certain potential challenges which we need to be mindful of. So one of that is tech. So what is happening in tech? In fact, tech is a double-edged sword. Tech can completely, you can say, take away the business from us in a sense, if you want to look at it that way. And tech can be a great enabler for a financial advisor in their practice. So it's a matter of how you look at it. But at the same time, I will not downplay the role of tech as a as something that can completely upend us. See, today a lot of robo advisory has started coming. They have started coming at the base of the profession now. They are doing some very basic work. They are not really at the level that we are currently doing financial planning or providing advice. But make no mistake, tech is going to climb up the ladder, and tech is going to come to where what we are doing today, tech and AI today. So it is going to take over some of the aspects which we are doing today, or many of the aspects which we are doing today. So that is definitely a clear and present danger going forward. But are we supposed to be afraid of that? See, the march of technology, it's like a tsunami. Nobody can stop that. So let us not even try to work in that direction. We cannot. So it's like a tsunami. It's coming, and let us welcome that. Let us see how we can incorporate tech in our practices so that we can do other things, and we don't have to compete with another robo platform. So the reason why I talk about robo platforms is that robo platforms operate at scale, while advisors like us may be having maybe 300, 500,000 clients. A robo platform, when it starts scaling up, they will have millions of clients, and they will be operating at that scale. And because they are going to operate at that scale, the charges which a robo platform can levy will be something which will be completely unviable for a human advisor like you and me. So that is why we need to start doing various other things. So so there'll be pressure on fees, so which is what I was talking about. So what do? We need to go into other areas where we can still make a difference. See, ultimately, a person who has say 5 crores or 10 crores, is this person going to be very happy talking to a AI generated some avatar, or is he going to be happy talking with an actual human advisor? I think the answer is pretty clear. I think many of them, if we provide value, I think they will want a human advisor, because the anonymity of artificial intelligence, or anonymity of a program, is actually very, very scary for a lot of people, and it's positive from our point of view. So customer experience becomes extremely, extremely important. So it is not only the question of financial plan. So a lot of advisors tend to think that financial planning profession means I have to make better and better financial plan. I mean, if that is the way you have thought about financial planning profession, probably you could be wrong, because that is something that probably in the future uh, the robots can very well do as well as you, or even better going forward. So what is truly really important is the amazing client experience which we have the potential to provide. So as far as the client experience is concerned, I talked to you about uh, the fact that, okay, suppose somebody has children, we have already planned for their education abroad. We have already carved out a certain amount, and we have put it aside. So that is part of the financial planning. So are you willing to engage with your client and their children as to where they are going to, which college they are going to go, which country they are going to go, what are the potential, what are the prospects of that course, which college offers scholarships, what are the I mean, what are the opportunities for them to have a part-time job. So all those things, if you are going to engage with your client, you are providing an invaluable service. And on top of that, if you are also going to arrange for an educational counselor, then that really enhances your value as they're trusted professional. So you are going to go far ahead and beyond the just the financial planning. So you need to redefine what actually we do for the clients. We cannot be just number crunchers and bean counters. We need to move ahead, and uh, we need to define ourselves as life success partners rather than just wealth managers. Wealth management, we will also have access to tech. We will also have access to artificial intelligence, and we need to incorporate those things in our practice and move to the role of a life success partner. If we do that properly, I think that is something that cannot be disrupted for a very long time to come. So I would say that that is broadly what I wanted to convey today. This is a book which Rishi was talking right in the beginning. This is a book about financial planning, about personal finance, about life planning. It has been written in a story format. It has been written for the members of the public, but it will be extremely useful for each one of you also, because it has been written from a financial planner's perspective as to how we deal with our clients in various situations. It could be an interesting book to read. And I talk about God. If God was a financial planner, God actually comes throughout the book and provides insights about life and the and life philosophy itself and the connection between life and money. So it could be an interesting book. Consider going through this book. Thank you very much, and that's all from my side. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to handle. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Suresh, sir. So we'll take up the questions at the end.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that the audience has got insights into as to what is financial planning and advisory all about. It is aptly clear to each one of us that how the CFP certification can help someone gain the expertise and transform into a successful financial advisor. So basically, the world opens for you, as you rightly mentioned, sir. I'm confident that our audience is now eager to understand more on the CFP profession and enroll for it. So I'll just share a few slides and then we can take up the Q&A, friends.
Sure, sure,
Please bear
sure.
with me.
Certainly, certainly, certainly. No problem.
So, so, friends, the CFP certification that we are talking about today is the world's topmost certification in personal finance. Sir has already mentioned about it. This is a program that is recognized in 27 countries. So all the major economies, in fact, the wealthy economies have the CFP program very valid and the certification very valid over here. There, it's a gold standard rated program. This is a unique 4-in-1 certification program, friends, whereby when you go with the regular path, there are 4 levels to it. So as you complete one level, you will get a specialist certification from the Financial Planning Standards Board, which is the parent body for the program. This is the CFP certification is ideal for students, professionals, independent financial advisors, bankers, insurance agents, to name a few. Friends, the focus is on personal finance and wealth. So basically, as we all understand, sir has given us a very good insight as to how India is becoming wealthy. Indians are becoming wealthy because we are earning a lot of money. So how can we help these people to really see that their, the cash flows, the very good cash flows that they're getting converts into wealth, which will be, utilized for generations. So that is our responsibility and our role in this entire domain. It's a short-term online study system, friends, which will typically take you around 6 to 12 months. I will explain this in more detail as I go forward. What is the program eligibility? I'm getting few questions, so I would just like to mention here, friends, the minimum requirement from the board for the CFP certification is 10 plus 2. So anyone who is 18 years of age, he's completed his 12th, he is eligible to join this course. There is no restriction on streams or percentages, so you can be from any background that you can come in. The only requirement is that once you clear the CFP certification, you will only get the mark if when you've that you have to be a graduate for that. That is one, and then you need minimum 3 years of experience in the banking, financial service, and insurance sector. uh, if someone who's just, let's say, we've got so many students who are just now pursuing graduation. So let's say they complete their CFP along with the graduation. Then what we can help them with is that alternate of that is that they can go with a 1 year of supervised articleship training under a practicing CFP, and then that 1 year is going to suffice the requirement of the 3 year of work. So if someone who doesn't have that kind of experience, yes, we can help you get that 1 year of supervised articleship. So then you can easily get your CFP certification after you clear the all the levels. Friends, now coming to the curriculum, the CFP level one, friends, which is known as the investment planning specialist, has three major modules in it. First is personal finance management. Now, when I say personal finance management, friends, it deals with the understanding of the financial planning process, understanding, getting insights as to analyzing the personal financial situation of an individual. What is his balance sheet, what basically his net worth, what are his cash flows, what is he getting, so where is he right now, and we have to then discover his goals, try to define it mathematically and help him to reach that financial nirvana or independence as we talk about. Secondly, friends, investment planning, asset management, we will be explaining you about all the major asset classes, equity, fixed income, gold, and real estate. Then we'll be explaining you about details about each kind of investment products which are there in India today and globally as well. And then we'll talk about portfolio management. We'll talk about, portfolio rebalancings, investment theories, behavioral finances. So this very, very dynamic kind of a module, which is investment planning and asset management. Coming to the level two, CFP level two, which is known as retirement and tax planning, friends. Retirement planning is the major goal for each one of us who's sitting here. See, we might have different career options and different, goals for life, but the retirement is one thing which each of us has to face. So, understanding of the accumulation stage and the distribution stage. So basically, which are the major retirement products in India, tax advantages and disadvantages, which would be best for clients basis of that. So bucket strategies, a lot of dynamics we'll be discussing. Secondly, friends, level two has tax planning. So you will be given knowledge on all the five heads of income. Then about which is the best way of saving taxes. Typically about clients love to talk about and discuss about the capital gains, which is the major thing. If people are made to make investments, they would like to save taxes on the returns that they're getting. So we will be training you on this as well. Coming to level three, it has two modules again: insurance and estate planning. In insurance, you will be given knowledge about, how do you find the gap analysis? How do you do the human life value calculation? Yes, mathematically, we can find out what is the sufficient cover which an individual should have based on his financial situation currently. And then, friends, if when coming to estate planning, Sir did mention about it, the reason why he did CTEP. Uh, we all earn a lot in our lives. We want to do a lot for our families, but if it doesn't pass, in a very peaceful manner to the next generations, then that is not a that is a job which is done half, I would say. For in terms of estate planning, you will be taught about what are wills, what are various options of succession, wills, private trusts. You can always go for gifting. So all those dynamics of things which we can really help our clients to transfer the wealth to the next generation is something that you will be taught about. Coming to, friends, CFP final level, there are two points here, friends. First is that you will have to submit a 360-degree holistic financial plan to the board for approval. And along with that, there is a 3 hour final exam which has to also be cleared. So once you have cleared all the four levels, then you are eligible to get the CFP certification mark. Why should now, if you've made your mind for CFP, why you should choose the International College of Financial Planning, friends? Uh, we are the first and the largest education provider of CFP in India. In fact, friends, as Sir mentioned it already, that ICFP and Bajaj Capital, our parent organization, were the ones who brought the financial planning concept in India because they thought there is a need for it. India is growing, people would require this service, and that is what this was brought to India. We are the pioneers in it since 2002. Most experienced and qualified CFP faculty is with ICFP. Friends, in fact, practicing CFPs like me are the mentors mentors and coaches. I take couple of modules in CFP at ICFP. Former FPSP India director is our program head. Highest number of CFP certificates in India today are from International College of Financial Planning. Sir is a live example of ICFP, CFP alumni who's become one of the finest financial planners and has a very well-known firm in India. Consistent track record for the last 21 years. Friends, in terms of delivery, right now, friends, we used to have our Delhi and Mumbai campuses before COVID, but what after COVID we found people are more preferring to go for the online sessions. So we have Zoom sessions. Recently, we have started physical classes in Lucknow. These virtual sessions, as I was mentioning, happen in weekdays and weekends. It's going to be usually in the evenings because we do understand many of you would be working professionals, and these class recordings are also shared. They will be You will be given access to the learning management system of ICFP, and then you will get these recordings. Friends, along with virtual, when I say virtual means faculties like me are going to come and teach you here. There is also a e-learning mode whereby what really happens is people who do not have much time available to commit for hours. So then what's going to happen is they would be given access to recorded sessions. Again, the same faculties. It's just that the sessions are recorded, so they can go with the recorded sessions as per their convenience and also pursue the CFP certification. So you have one is virtual, the other is e-learning. India's most comprehensive study material for CFP is provided by International College of Financial Planning, friends. We will provide you with concept books, workbooks. There'll be a big box of books that's going to come to you. There'll also be group projects. All the sessions that are being conducted, you will be getting access to the recorded so that you can go, you can access them later on and, get your knowledge to an exemplary stage. Assignments are going to be given. Online mock tests are there for you to practice so that you will understand what are the skill gaps and you really look forward to be ready for the examinations. Before every month exams, we do conduct doubt clearing sessions. So where the faculties are going to come, you can even request for one-on-one sessions if there is an additional requirement. That is also available to you. Coming to the FPSB board, the parent board of CFP's fees. Friends, the registration fee is 18,000 rupees. Friends, this registration is valid for 1 year, and the board these days is requesting that people who once they register, once they enroll with us, they should register within the board in like almost in 15 days, so that the board is aware that you have joined the CFP course. Coming to ebooks, friends, yes, it is a compulsion that the FPSC books have to be purchased, but we don't have to do it entirely at one time. It has to be on stage as you go forward with the modules. The fee, friends, is the ebook fee is 6,500 rupees per level, and for the final level, it is 13,000. Coming to, friends, exam fee, as I mentioned, that yes, every level has exams that you have to clear. You will get a specialist certification after you clear it. The exam fee is 6,750 for each level, and for the final, it is 13,000. The financial plan assessment, friends, is again, they charge 10,500 for it. So this is, friends, the regular pathway whereby you have to complete 4 levels. Eligibility, I've already mentioned to you. Coming to, friends, another thing that I was saying initially, that yes, there is a fast track method which is available, whereby one person can complete CFP within 6 months itself from start to end. For this, friends, the board has a minimum eligibility requirement, which is in terms of education and experience. For education, you need to either be a professional like a CA or a CA inter with 3-year articleship, and BCom will also suffice. A CFA, CPA, MBA with any kind of a specialization, and also distance is valid. You have either a PG degree in economics, commerce, that is also that can also be sufficing for the fast track mode. Experience wise, friends, you need 3 years of BFSI, banking, financial services, and insurance experience. And then what really happens is you can get to this fast track course. The FPSV board charges 5,000 as the fast track validation fee. After that, friends, the registration and FPSP content is 34,000. Financial plan assessment is same, 10,500 as the regular pathway, and the CFP final exam fee is same, 13,000. So the last two elements are almost the same. Now, what does ICFP charges you in terms of, when we give you that kind of an hand holding to see that you complete your CFP certification as soon as possible? Friends, when I say virtual classes where the faculties are going to come live to you, the total for all the four levels are fees 60,000 in lump sum. There'll be a discount of around 25,000, which is so the fee finally in lump sum comes to 44,900. The e-learning recorded session mode, if you take that, the total fee is going to be 34,900. The fast track mode that I mentioned to you, where the person only has to go with he has the education experience, he will only be required to give the assessment, financial plan, and the final exam. So three levels will be not required. For this, the fee is 34,900 rupees.